So hello, everybody, and Happy New Year, and welcome to today's Reiki and Power Animals Circle. And we're creating an online community here in the circle, coming together for connection, inspiration, fun, joy, healing. And I'm Kathy Brook-Wong, Reiki Master and your host. And I'm very excited to introduce to you today's very special guest healer, Doug Winger, who's going to talk to us about power animals. So Doug, will you please say hello and briefly tell us what you'll be sharing with us today?
Sure. I'm going to do three things today. I'm going to talk about animal medicine from a Native American perspective. We're going to actually do something called a shamanic journey, where we'll be laying down and listen to a drum beat. And then I'm going to talk about what a power animal retrieval is and how you work with both animal medicine and a power animal.
Oh boy. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate your being here with us today. And I know you're very passionate about the winged ones and the four-legged and really any type of creatures for that matter, and have talked to me about the animal wisdom many times. So I can't wait for you to share with all of us here today. And thank you. And today I'll be sharing a little bit about what Reiki is for my new friends in the circle, and tell you a little bit about the distance Reiki healing that I'll be sharing with you during your time with Doug. And I'll be leading you through kind of a guided self-Reiki and what I call openings and planting seeds meditation, after which you'll be doing a little bit of journaling about your experience. So first I'd like, Doug is going to begin with an opening blessing to, for our sacred circle here.
Tonkashala wonkon tonka. Thank you for the Native peoples and all they've been through, that they've kept this wisdom alive for us. Thank you for their open-heartedness in sharing this wisdom, even though many of them and their ancestors have been persecuted. I ask that we receive this in a good and humble way, that we honor the Tatonka Luta Tioshpae and my teacher Ellen with our presence and attention, and that we honor all people who identify as having indigenous roots. I also ask Tonkashla that you help us to be willing to look again at ourselves, to be open to new and different ways of thinking, that the animal medicine, the creepy crawlies, the winged ones, and the four-leggeds have so much to teach us. And by learning in this way, may we be more open to our place in the world and more supportive of healing it. Oh, Matakuyase.
Oh, Matakuyase. Thank you. That was beautiful. I'm going to be making sure everyone's muted right now. And then Doug will be unmuting when he's going to share. Oh, yes, I muted you. However, we're going to start before I share about Reiki and bring you through the, we bring you through the journeys. But I would like to just open the circle with a little bit of like opening time, a little bit of sharing time, because we're all individuals, but we're coming here creating. Let's imagine we're sitting around a campfire in the trees, and we're just holding this space for each other. So I would like everyone to share your name, where you're zooming in from, and what is a hope you have for this new year. More peace, unity, unification of our country, more creativity, whatever it is, just in a word or two. What is one hope for this brand new year? So how about if we share with, Doug will share real quick. Oh, when you're muted, and I did mute everybody, so you'll all have to unmute. I kind of forgot about that. Thank you.
I mean, I could be all high and lofty and say world peace, but I'm going to say more time for me in nature.
Beautiful, thank you. And would Jason and Vanessa share? And say where you are too. It's just kind of nice to know where everybody is.
I'm in Oakland.
Oh, I'm Vanessa. We're both in Oakland, California right now. Yeah, and I I don't feel prepared to share hope. Maybe.
Okay, I'll share.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm Kathy's son, and I'm hoping for a more motivation this year and strength to keep going and balanced life, balanced with exercise and outdoors and work and rest.
That's great. As everybody shares, we could just breathe it in and to ourselves just saying, so it is. We're releasing these hopes and intentions and on wings of spirit. So Madge?
Hi, my name is Madge. I'm zooming in from Irvine, and I am hoping to get the vaccine shot as soon as possible. I think it'll bring me safety, security, and peace of mind.
Thank you. Eva?
Hi, I'm Eva, and I'm zooming in from Irvine as well. And I guess for me, I think more creativity would be great this year.
Thank you. And Eva?
It's
right?
Ava. And she's
Ava.
muted. Can you unmute everybody, Kathy?
Yeah, let's see if I could do that. Zoom goes back and forth and what they'll let us do or not do. I used to be able to unmute all. I can ask all to unmute. How's that?
I was able to unmute through mine.
Oh, beautiful. So
Yeah, through mine too. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm Ava. I'm zooming in from San Francisco. And I guess what I would want this year is for everyone to be healthy. And especially for the unemployed, I'd really like them to find some financial stability. So
Bringing it in. Thank you.
been doing this.
Beautiful. Thank you. Carla? Hi.
Oh, I am Carla. It's good to see you all. I am from Groveland, California. That's near the Yosemite area. And my intention this year is about understanding, connection, and action.
Thank you. And Mel and her friend?
Hi, I'm Melanie. I'm zooming in from San Luis Obispo at the moment. And for the new year, I'm hoping for peace within myself, within my own communities, and within communities all around the world.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Evan, and my thought or intention for this year is for more laughter, for everyone to have laughter in every way possible.
All right. I'll hallelujah, brother, that one. Thank you. And Rick?
Hi, I'm zooming in from Long Beach, California, and I have two intentions I want to talk about today, or a request actually from the group, but I'm intending to have more joy in doing what my true mission is, working with social and emotional learning with people, young people. And I'm here because I'm hoping that I can ask the group to send some healing energy. My sister's dog was attacked by another dog last week and is very sick. And was hoping that we could send some energy to Kiko. Kiko needs some energy right now. He's pretty sick.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, we're happy to do that. Thank you. And Vicki?
Oh, I'm already unmuted.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm here in Los Alamitos, and there are just too many intentions I have or wishes I have. But just for me personally, my intention would be more creativity and maybe openness to new things, new adventures. Just kind of want a new chapter.
Good. Breathing it in, and thank you. And Arjan?
Hi, I'm Arjan, and I'm in Mission Viejo, California. And I guess the question is, what is my intention for the year? For this
Hope.
year?
What is the hope for the year?
Hope, yeah, hope. I am definitely hoping to get back to be able to play music with my friends, with my groups, and to be able to continue to do sound healing events. That's certainly a huge hope. Was there another part?
Oh, no, that's perfect. Thank
Okay,
you.
great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Great. Brenda?
Hi, I'm Brenda. I'm in Irvine, California, and my hope is that, and there's so many, but if I had to just pick one or two, I'm going to piggyback on the laughter, because that's laughter and then serenity.
Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you. Donna, would you like to share? And if you did, you'd unmute yourself. And Jared, if you'd like to share. We're sharing a hope for the new year and where we're calling from. So we'll see if they want to join us. Okay, they can join us later.
Sure. Hi, everybody.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I'm joining in from Central California, Dinuba. Today, to be exact, my hope for the new year is to feel like my normal self again.
Thank you for sharing. Great.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that, and hopefully that gives you a sense of, we're together here for a beautiful time. We are here for, support and laughter and all that we hope for. So I will be muting you now. And I'm going to keep this brief if I can, just to share a bit for our new friends in the circle about what Reiki is. So I am a Reiki master in 3 of the lineages. And basically it's a Japanese energy healing technique. And the word Reiki is Japanese and translates as the universal life force energy. And it's a cosmic life energy that's flowing through all living things. And so you can, I see it as a source energy. It emanates divine love. And so if you can imagine this energy coming through you, it's kind of like the practitioner sources or brings it through us, as we're just a vessel to hold this energy, and we can share it or send it or give it to send love and healing to yourselves and to others. And it can be really used for anything or anyone. It's energetic, there's intention. And again, we can share it with a person, an animal, a thing, a situation. It could be by laying on hands or, touching or being near. But it can also be shared distantly, because this Reiki is through this Reiki practice, it can be shared across time and space, and it can have a healing effect on the recipient. So today I will be sharing Reiki during your journey with Doug, and you may feel a sense of lightness or a sense of peace, some clarity, heightened intuition during that time with Doug on your journey, the shamanic journey, as a result of the Reiki. And that's my wish for you. Or you may not notice it, and that's okay too. It's always working. So I don't have a lot of time for this, but I would like to share. So Doug, you'll be sharing a little bit later. Let's see, let me think. Okay, we're going to do a short meditation and experience self-Reiki, all right? And so it will be for about 5 minutes, and you will be journaling with Doug, and a little bit with me, just a short write, a quick write, what we'll call. So if you'd like to get a paper, your journal, a paper, a pen, some people like, colorful pens, whatever you feel comfortable with. And I know that Doug will be inviting you to have an eye eye cover or socks to cover your eyes. So if you want to get those too, is that this is a great time to get set up for the next step with Doug. Oh, Doug, you're muted, so you'll have to unmute yourself. Oh, you're muted still, Doug. I don't know, are you talking to us?
Yeah, sorry. So in addition to an eye pillow and something to write on, if we're going to listen to a drum beat, and it's better if it's louder. So headphones are also useful if they happen to be.
Okay, good. So we'll just get all set up. And also, water is always good. Make sure you have some water near you, because when you're doing this energetic work, it is subtle and it is safe and it's compassionate, but there's energy moving and healing that's being done. So drinking a lot of water before and during and after is really important. Okay. So we're just going to take a few moments, settle in where you are, settle into your seat. Just feel the seat underneath you. And this is what I call is going to be an opening and planting seeds meditation, but it's really, I want you to experience self-healing, using this beautiful energy to just tap into yourself and listen to your inner wisdom. So my questions will guide you, and go ahead and just settle in, and you can close your eyes during all this time. And we'll do a little bit of breathing, deep breathing to get relaxed and into it. So again, close your eyes and take a deep, slow breath in through your nose and slowly exhale. And take another long, slow, deep breath in through your nose. Feeling any tension that's melting away as you relax into this. And let it out through your mouth. Okay, one more breath through. Imagine you're breathing through your feet, from Mother Earth, energy through your feet. Breathe it in. And let it out with any stress, releasing from your body. And you're going to continue breathing slowly and gently as you bring awareness to the top of your head. And just picture a warm, loving, golden light spreading, coming through the top of your head and spreading from the top of your head down to through your body, through your torso, your legs, your knees, through the bottoms of your feet, feeling your muscles relax as the light washes over you, surrounding you and protecting you. And take a few more deep breaths and relaxing deeply. Now with your eyes closed in this state, just take your hands in front of you. You could be in prayer position. Just rub your hands together, feeling into the warmth that's created and the energy that's created between your hands. And even you can move your hands apart and see if you feel that some energy, some pulsing, the heat, even when your hands aren't rubbing. Just experience that for a moment. And then with your eyes closed, just open your hands like you're offering, like you're letting a butterfly fly. And just imagine a golden ball of energy, just like a ball of yarn, but it's glowing and shimmery, but you're holding it in your hands. We're going to bring that, imagine you're bringing that golden ball, just scoop it up, put it near your like third eye, between your eyes, and send some warmth and energy, this light energy into your, what we call the third eye, or between your eyes. How does that feel? And you're going to ask yourself just one question. Ask yourself, are you ready for new openings? What new ideas, wisdom, different perceptions are ready to come in? And just quietly listen for an answer. Okay, now take your hands, just bring your hands slowly down and place them over your heart center, your heart chakra. And just ask a question. What emotions are you holding, that you're holding on to? Are you ready to heal? And you also may ask, what do you wish to experience? Just listen for the answer. You're going to now slowly bring the golden ball of energy in your hands down to your belly, under your belly button. And you're going to ask, what do you want to create? What seeds do you want to plant? And just listen. And you're going to slowly put your hands over your tailbone, your root chakra, or you can also go through to your root chakra from a little lower than your belly. And just one more question to start opening up to more wisdom that you have. And that is, the question is, what support do you need to open more, plant seeds, and help them grow? And tune in to what it tells you. Beautiful. So you may keep your eyes closed and just stay with this meditation for another minute or two. Or if you like to come back to the room, you can slowly, stretching and feeling the sensations of the air in your skin, and just wiggle your toes and your fingers. Do some stretches. Okay. So thank you for coming on this journey with me, and you're sharing this love, this lovely energy to tap in and just love on these areas, and just take a moment to listen in whatever your inner wisdom is to come through. And so we're going to we're going to call it a very quick write, because I know I'm a little over time, and I apologize for that. But just take 2 minutes if you'd like to do a quick write right now, just to get any ideas down. If there's something that spoke to you that you want to share with yourself, well, you may just stay kind of meditating on that idea. So I'm just going to give you 2 minutes. I'll let you know when the 2 minutes are over. It would be glorious if we had more time for journaling. I know this went a little bit longer than we expected. I'd love to have Doug share his beauty with us. And Doug, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. And yeah, it's a great time to plant seeds from a native perspective. This is a time where the earth asks us to go inward and really be quiet and be still and listen differently. So thank you for that. So I want to start when I talk about power animals by saying that I'm not Native American. And so it's really important that I clarify the perspective that I'm coming from. First off, I'm going to rely on a book that I'll show you later that is, it's a Native American book that is the wisdom of elders from the Choctaw, Lakota, Seneca, Aztec, Yahi, Cheyenne, Cherokee, Iroquois, and Mayan traditions. It's elders who have produced a book for all of us and who have studied animals and studied animal medicine and brought that forward with the permission of their peoples, to the best of my knowledge. And the authors also, their names don't sound like it, but are native. So that's one piece. The other piece is that I do work in a native tradition, and I'm going to keep that name confidential for the purposes of this, because I don't want anybody to be confused that I'm teaching from that tradition. That would require permission that I do not have. And then lastly, I just want to say that at the end, I'm going to offer to make a donation to a nonprofit for Native Americans. And because I have the privilege of speaking to you all today, I'm going to make a meaningful donation myself to that nonprofit as a way of honoring the fact that these people's knowledge is something that we're sharing and that it's coming through me. So what's my relationship to power animals? So my teacher, Ellen Fishburne, up here in Northern California in the Sebastopol area, did a power animal retrieval for me in 1990. And I've been working with that animal since. And the animals actually choose you. You don't choose your animals. You may love dogs and appreciate their loyalty, but the animal actually chooses you, not the other way around. And it's been really helpful for me, and something after all these years that I'd love for other people to benefit from. So the other piece is that I have done power animal retrievals, and I'm not sure that we'll have enough time for me to explain that ceremony to you. I think we'll end in a certain time, and then I'll offer if people want to stay on to hear how a power animal retrieval occurs. But you're going to experience a lot of the pieces to that ceremony today. So you'll have a sense whether it's been put together for you or not. And so I don't know how many times, but a dozen or two, I've brought power animals to people for the benefit of their healing. So the first thing we need to do when we talk about animal medicine is the term medicine. We have to redefine that. So from a native perspective, medicine is anything that improves our connection to our true nature. So the idea is that we all have incredible, unique gifts and talents. Doesn't matter how we look or what our wealth or isn't, or what our path has been, that innate to all of us are unique and powerful gifts. And that's medicine. Those differences that make us who we are and how we can be of service are our medicine. Medicine is also anything that connects us more to Great Spirit, to our sense of something bigger than us. And medicine is also, by using our gifts and being of service, how we really respect the interconnectedness of all of life. The idea that we're all on some way dependent on the smallest ant, or, I didn't mean ant like aunt and uncle, but all the creatures of the world. So, so animal medicine is about improving our connection to ourselves, and they are helpers in doing that. What happens for me with the use of a power animal is I will actually call my animal in when I need guidance, when I'm scared or fearful. So for protection, or often just ask a question and see what happens. And I have a sense, honestly, of my power animal's presence. I can't say I actually see it, but I feel it. We're going to talk about shamanic journeying today, which is the more traditional way of it's used to actually find a power animal for you. Someone goes and does that for you, but it's also a great way to work with power animals. Shamanic journeying is based on a particular drumbeat that actually is cross-cultural again. Many Native American indigenous societies around the world, from the Arctic to deep into the Amazon, had discovered this on their own. And this particular drumbeat helps induce a state of openness, almost a little bit for me like dreaming that you can observe. And it's not always that powerful, and a power animal is something that you use who takes you through that state of your imagination, that state of openness to the deeper places in yourself. So the two keys to using animal medicine are to let yourself be intuitive. You guys, from a Native perspective, Native people believe that experience is what teaches, and that being open to experience is how you learn. It's great that we have this, hyper technical industrial world, but in some ways, from a Native point of view, it robs us of the connection to ourselves. So from a Native perspective, you don't need to know why, you just need to try. And so I'm going to ask you all today, when we do the shamanic drumming, just be open and see what happens. And there's no judgment. It doesn't matter, if nothing really, quote, happens, but by being open, the idea is that you can feel more and know more about those particular gifts and talents you have, and that there's help from the spiritual side in you knowing those things. So the other thing about working with animal medicine is to be honest with yourself and really try hard. And this is hard. I have a difficult time in some areas not to judge yourself. So when you're working with animal medicine, the animals can help you as much as you can be open and intuitive and non-judgmental. So I'm going to show you right now a book and tell you a little bit about animal medicine. So let me share my screen. Oops. One moment. And this is a great resource, and you can actually access it online without buying the book. It's nice if you find it useful to support the authors, but let's see here. Here we are at last. So this is the most accessible way to use animal medicine, is these animal cards. So these two authors, Jamie Sams and David Carson, again, pulled from elders who had studied animals, North American animals, and really understood what they were about. And they've created these, the book, the medicine card book, has descriptions of each animal. And what you do with medicine cards is that you have a question in your life, and you really need to have a question that you're open to learning and want to learn. It's not, how is my relationship going to get better? It's what can I do to make my relationship better? What do I need to learn at this time? We'll talk more about those kinds of questions, but you have that question, you shuffle the cards, and you wait for a card to really attract you, and you pull the card, and then you read the book and see what that animal medicine is. Now, that's different from how Native people work with animal medicine, but it is something that a lot of people are quite surprised at how it's helpful. And definitely when you ask questions, it's really good to ask questions that are more in the moment, not like, how will I get a good job, but what in my job search am I not seeing that could be helpful, or what behavior might be of service right now, something like that, and then use these cards. And I want to talk a little bit about when you get a card, what is it like? Or when you work with an animal medicine, of any particular kind, what is that like? So I'm going to stop this share. You guys see me again? So let's say that the hawk medicine is up for you. You could imagine even it's your power animal, but we're not there yet. Let's say you're working with hawk medicine. So again, it's so fascinating cross-culturally. Hawk is messenger. Hawk is messenger from above. It's very rare that hawk medicine in old cultures is not seen in that way. So what hawk teaches us is to be observant, that you're only really as powerful as your ability to perceive and receive. And that's it. You really need to be able to perceive and then receive what you're perceiving. So if you have the hawk medicine, and that's something that you're working with, then you really start to pay attention, to, is there a talent I'm not using? Am I not paying attention? Are the solutions for a particular problem hard for me to find? Because I'm kind of let the gloominess of my life and my present situation kind of keep me down on the earth. So one thing I've seen in our culture and watching people work with animal medicine is that we have these cultural prescriptions, if you will. The eagle is freedom, so I pull the eagle card, so I'm free. No, the native way of working with something is to take it in and see how I might change, how I might perceive differently, feel differently, look differently at the world and at myself. And the cool thing is, and this is obvious, right? A mouse is not a moose. You think about a mouse, a mouse is about scrutiny. And when you think about scrutiny, you can think, okay, that's good. I'm going to be really careful in thinking, but are you paying too much attention to the details if you're working with mouse medicine? It can be bad to chew on everything so much. And so that's one of the main points I want to talk to you guys about today is animals have a light, and it's usually in this book boiled down as a single word. So mouse is scrutiny, but the scrutiny has a light side and a dark side. Everything from a native perspective has a light and a shadow. And so when you work with the card, it's like, oh God, I got whale. I'm just so cool. Whales got this, I could go on about whales, but the point is to really be attentive to where you are and why that medicine came to you, and to take in the good and the bad. And the way that works often for people in working with these cards is they'll find a phrase that catches their attention. And then you take that phrase and you keep it visible for yourself for a week or two, and you keep looking at that phrase and remembering that energy of that animal. And if you're really into it, you study the natural history of the animal, and you call that animal's medicine to you if you are willing to take that leap of faith. and you get kind of a mirror on yourself that allows you to see yourself differently and take more responsibility for your gifts and talents, because you have them, and how you want to bring them forward. So I want to just mention a couple other animals, and then we're going to get right into shamanic journeying. So just to give you an idea again for working with animals. So deer. So think about a deer for a second, you guys, just in your mind, you've seen a deer. So deer is gentleness. It's the power to touch hearts and minds. It's a beautiful medicine. You may think of it as a prey animal, but the power of gentleness to touch hearts and minds. If you get that card and you listen to yourself, are you being too harsh with yourself? Are you being gentle enough with yourself to really be your best self? Is there places that you could be kinder to yourself? Is there somebody in the world that you could take a gentle action or two toward? And if you're working really truly, like with my power animal, I feel it actually helped me. You know, I know that's a bit of a stretch for people, but you know, you might want to, if gentleness with self is something that you realize, if that's what comes up for you working with animal medicine, then you might have a lot of deer pictures around just because they soften your heart. My opinion personally, after watching people in these groups that I've been in for all these years, work with animal medicine, and with my own experience, is that it's a tool for making the subconscious more conscious, that it gives us a glimpse of ourselves and sometimes even an aha moment. So think about it kind of like as a helper that helps us be our best selves if we're open to that particular animal's medicine. So the way that that people often work with animal medicine is you have somebody retrieve a power animal for you, and then you do shamanic journeying, which we're going to experience right now. I know some of you, because I know you well, have power animals, but most don't. And one thing I'll say quickly about power animals is I've only once seen the power animal not be a bit of a surprise for people. People often wish that hummingbird is their power animal. And the one person who really nailed it drove me crazy. She was a 12-year-old precocious girl. And when I was doing the power animal retrieval for her, I so wanted it not to be this beautiful whale sitting back here. And I steered my power animal to look for other animals, and it was the whale anyway. But most of the time, it's a medicine that surprises you, that helps you in ways that maybe you're less conscious of. So I just mentioned that before we do shamanic journeying. So if you had a power animal today and we were doing shamanic journeying, you'd call your power animal to you. You'd ask a question that's in your life. You'd close your eyes and listen to this drum beat and let your power animal take you on a journey. And because you don't all have power animals, and there's particular places that you go in doing this, because you don't have power animals, we're going to stay in what's called middle world today. So what we're going to do right now, the ceremony is that you get smudged. So Kathy right now is psychically smudging us. And I want us all to take a second and just say, I've been hearing a lot from Doug. Maybe I've been thinking a lot. I'm just going to let myself be cleansed of my thoughts and just cleansed of any concerns or anxiety or worries that I have right now. And I'm going to let go of things. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give you some instructions, but I'm going to tell you about it first. You guys are going to get comfortable. It's best to lay down if you can. If you're in a comfortable enough chair, just put a pillow behind your head if you can, so you can lay back all the way. It's best if your eyes are darkened, and I'll give you a minute to get your materials in a second. You can do this to make it dark, but it's really helpful if it's very dark, because you're going to want to let yourself see what arises in your mind. And sometimes it's, it can be a bit, it's helpful if it's more like sleeping. And it's really helpful if you can play the sound of the drums pretty loud. If you imagine this being done by native people, or if we were doing a power animal retrieval, we would have a drummer with a big drum who would be pounding it really hard, and we'd feel that reverberation in our bodies. And so the loudness of the drum is helpful. So I'm going to get I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what to think about and what you're going to do in just a moment. But Kathy, maybe we should just unmute and I can go over these instructions a little bit more slowly and we can see if people have questions. So I'm going to state them again. You're comfortable, you've covered your eyes, you've turned up the volume as loud as you can where you are, perhaps gotten earphones. And it still looks like, Kathy, everybody's on mute.
Yeah, I don't have the power to unmute everybody. I've asked people to unmute.
Okay, great. Let me give the final instruction and then I'm happy to take questions and then we'll start with the drum beat. So what the instruction is going to be is when you've got your eyes closed and you're in place, it's as dark as possible. When you hear what I'm going to ask you to do is find a place in nature that you really like. It doesn't matter where it is, but find a place in nature that you've been before and really imagine that place. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is ask a question and repeat that question to yourself. And then just listen to the drums, imagining you're in that place. And if your mind starts to wander, just say this question again: what animal medicine would serve me now? What animal medicine would serve me now? So go ahead and let's see if anybody has questions about anything, and then we'll get started. Anybody? Okay, good. So you're comfortable, it's as dark as possible.
Doug, I'm going to unmute everybody just to make sure, and then you're going to unmute yourself. So sorry. So unmute yourself, Doug, only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to get this drum beat queued up. So remember, your only job is just to lay there and be peaceful and ask this simple question: what animal medicine would serve me now? And then just see what happens. When you come back, I'm going to give you some time to write some things down about your experience just at a high level, and then we'll talk some more. So here you go. Okay, when you're ready, you can take your time and come back. I'm sorry the volume was not a lot louder, you guys. Thank you for the feedback. So if you want to capture a couple notes about your experience, if you saw any animals or if you had any experience, you could even, if you were frustrated or if there was a thought that kept coming up, it would be useful from an animal medicine point of view to capture that. So yeah, I'll give you a minute for that. And then I'm real curious if it was loud enough and if anybody saw any animals.
Doug?
Yeah.
At first, I wasn't getting any drumming, and I know that there is a trick to doing this over Zoom. And the only one I know that knows how to do that would be Amy.
Yeah, thank you. It took me a while to turn it on, the computer sound, so it wasn't coming from my speaker into the mic. It was going directly, so that's when it got louder. And that
Yeah,
took a
it has to come through the computer, although I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah, I skipped that important step. Sorry about that.
Thanks for your email. I really appreciate it. I'm glad I got to log on.
So how about a quick show of hands as to whether any animals showed up of any kind while you were listening to the drum beat and asking the question about what animal medicine would be of service now? Did anybody see anything? Got one. Anybody else see anything? Oh, good. Good, good, good. I'm glad. Madge, would you like to unmute? I'd love to hear what you have to say.
How do we get the picture of everybody back? Oh, got it. I see it. Okay. Doug, I was very unhappy with this choice. And it was a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted a deer or a whale or an eagle or a hummingbird. And so I kept moving my attention to what's for dinner or tried to concentrate on the drums. And that pesky squirrel came coming back. And I don't know what your medicine card word is, but here's my interpretation. I see a squirrel as being lively. So I sort of took that to mean I need to pick up the pace in my life. I'm sitting on the couch reading or knitting or that kind of thing. And I just think I need to make changes and do more. And yeah.
So yeah, thank you for that. We're not going to get into a lot of people's animals, but I'm going to use this just for a second, Madge. Thank you. Love how it was wonderful. You didn't do anything wrong. It was beautiful. Thank you. So what's interesting about a squirrel is that it does its best to be very busy and gather what it needs, but then it puts those nuts away and actually hibernates in the winter. So the word for squirrel is gathering, but it's knowing about when is enough. How do you gather enough? When is enough on something and when is it time to move on? The squirrel can be sort of hyper obsessive about one thing, and that has a purpose at times, but the flip side of that, the shadow side of that, is being hyper focused on something. One thing for now for people that it's easily to get hyper focused on is the news. So yes.
Doug, you're still sharing the sound, so the quality may not be super clear for everybody.
Thank you.
I'm not sure, but
I'm clicking it, but it's not going off.
I think it's okay.
Okay, it's okay. Great. We're good, I think.
Okay, thanks. Now I can't see any of you. Okay, so what I wanted to do quickly is just have people, Kathy, I can't see people anymore.
Yeah, you're gonna now close sharing altogether, share screen. Stop.
So, yeah.
good.
Okay, good. So I noticed a number of people raise their hand. So pay attention to what that animal was. And I encourage you to go look for the animal medicine book and do a little reading on that animal and think a little bit about your life right now. Sometimes in journeying, nothing happens, and that's okay. It really is. You know, the circumstances weren't nearly as good as they could be on Zoom with, you know, the presence of the drum and kind of more of the ceremony. But I wanted you to see, and I'm really happy to see how many people had some kind of animal medicine show up. That's pretty phenomenal. And if you think about your dreams, animals actually come through our dreams a lot. And from a Native perspective, the animals are arising in our dreams to help us. And from a Native perspective, the way I've been taught, when an animal arises 4 times, not like every deer that walks in front of you, you got to contemplate gentleness. But if you see at least 4 deer, and sometimes in a surprising place, or if they show up in the real world in your dreams, then you pay attention to that particular medicine and ask yourself, what's going on right now that gentleness could help me if the deer is arising? And, you know, people who are really skilled at this or know how to use shamanic drumming, know when that animal medicine is something that they should really pay attention to. And one of the ways that I found that that's useful is it surprises me. Like, you know, Madge, it was beautiful. You know, squirrel wasn't what you wanted. You know, everybody wants the big predators or something, but there's probably something about squirrel medicine that's really useful for you. So the last thing I wanted to do was to explain to you the power animal retrieval ceremony as I've been taught it. Because you know, a lot of people are very interested in having an animal that is their guardian and protector and helper. And so the ceremony basically is that somebody who already has a power animal lays next to you. You've been smudged and cleansed. You're both holding the intention of having a power animal choose you. And then the drum beat starts and you do something different than we did. You go to what's called lower world, and you get to lower world. I always go to some lava beds that are up in Northern California, and my animal meets me. It's a bird. And we literally feel like we fly into the ground and we pop up in this world in the same place actually every time. And then we, in like a dreamlike state, go on an adventure. And if I'm retrieving a power animal, I'm observing the animals that I'm seeing like you guys did. And sometimes it's just a glimpse. Sometimes, you know, it feels like I'm observing a dream. And when I see an animal 4 times, I ask that animal, is squirrel Madge's power animal? And if squirrel says yes, I ask squirrel, can I take it from the spirit world back to middle world where we are, and give that power animal to Madge? And if it says yes, and they've always said yes to me, but they don't have to, then what I do is I hold my hand out and it shrinks down. It's very bizarre. Like, it's, you know, I'm not making the squirrel shrink down. Somehow it shrinks down. I put it into my heart, and then I signal with my hand to the drummer, and they do that that fast drum beat. My power animal takes me back. I sit that person up. I literally imagine a squirrel in my hands, and I blow it into the person's fontaine and into their heart. I rattle 4 times around them, and then we talk about what was their experience. Now, when my animal, which is the bird, was retrieved, my teacher and I were actually sitting next to each other, and I actually saw my animal flying down a beach while she retrieved it. And so we somehow, you know, had something with our, I don't know, going on. And then when you have that power animal, you study it, study it, study it. So this doesn't matter if you do a power animal retrieval, but if there's an animal that comes up, really, I think honestly, just about anything in life, if you study it and use it as a mirror to reflect on a situation or a part of your life, and think about it and think about that different quality, not something that you do every day, then the idea is you'll get insights, sometimes aha moments, other times, you know, baby steps forward, like how change happens. about how to take that medicine and manifest it to be your best self. So I love having a power animal. I use it, sometimes on a almost daily, certainly on a weekly, and occasionally in life I'll forget about it on a monthly basis. And if you do end up someday having a power animal, you also need to, when you call it, you also need to thank it and return it, so that it's not paying attention to what you asked it to do anymore. And then you also need to honor it. And the native way of honoring a power animal that I found most powerful and really helped me develop my relationship was to dance that animal. So imagine dancing a bird, and you just really think about, what is that animal? You guys have probably seen pictures of native people. Those that are dressed like animals and dancing like animals, they actually, from their point of view, have called that spirit into their presence and are interrelating with that spirit and dancing that spirit as a way of honoring that particular energy, honoring the energy of gathering. Gathering is an important quality. We need gatherers. We wouldn't have what we have if we didn't. So that's what a power animal retrieval is. And I hope you guys have gotten a glimmer into, as I said, a really different way of thinking and relating to the animal world and the medicine it can have. And I highly encourage that book that I told you guys about. You can look it up online. It's called Medicine Cards by Jamie Sams and David Carson. So we want to wrap up. Kathy, you can take it away. And then if anybody wants to stay on and talk about the animals they saw and digest them a little bit more, I'm happy to do that. But we're on time, and let's go ahead and finish up the formal part.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Doug. That was amazing. I learned a lot. And it was very powerful healing. I'd like for Doug and I to both share with you how to contact us if you have any questions for Doug. Doug, can you tell us how to contact us and about that organization that you were going to recommend that we?
Sure. So there's my email address. You're welcome to contact me and continue this conversation with me one-on-one about power animals, or if this has brought up something, happy to be there for you. And Kathy can give you my phone number if you'd like it as well. And then the next slide shows an organization called Preparing Oakland Native Youth. It's PONY, and it's a great organization. My daughter volunteers for it in Oakland, and I chose this organization, unlike last time when we talked about the 4 directions, because people are surprised how many Native people live in the cities and live around us, and how much they still struggle with some of the legacy issues of being Native. This is a great organization, and you can donate online, and I'm certainly going to. So wanted to share that as an opportunity.
Yeah, great. Thanks for letting us know about this organization. And I'd also want to invite all of you to connect with me and learn more about me if you'd like to know the work that I do with Reiki, and I'm a hospice angel and a grief angel. And so you can go to my website, connect with me, email or text, and also a Facebook group called On Wings of Joy. And it's a supportive arena for a community for supporting us in joy, more creativity, authenticity, courage, gratitude. And I thank you so much for all joining today. And this is a gift to you. And if you would like to send a love offering, donation of any amount, that'd be great. I'd appreciate that, but not required. And also, if you'd like to experience Reiki for yourself or gift it to a friend, I'm having a promotion this month. So I'd love to, we could do that distantly over Zoom. And just real briefly, it says end of slideshow, but I have one more slide I want to show you. So let me give you just one more second to, I wanted to share about some upcoming events that I will be hosting. No, it's not here. So I would like to invite you all to my next Reiki and Healing Arts Circle that will be on January 24th from 3 to 4:15. And my special guest healer, Kathy Williams, who's an author, radio host, and awakening coach, will be teaching us practices from traditional and modern approaches to Ho'oponopono, which is a powerful Hawaiian practice of making things right for forgiveness. And I would love to have you join us in 2 weeks. So before we close, I'd like to share a poem with you. And if you'd like to just settle in and put your hands over your heart, just in a kind of a receiving from my heart to your heart, a blessing. And this is a winter solstice blessing. You know, we just experienced the longest day of the longest darkness of the year. And, you know, every day we'll be opening to more light and hopefully more love, joy, peace, and all that you spoke as your intention or hope for the year. So this is a winter solstice blessing. May you have a warm heart, open hands, a creative mind. May you experience inspiration and brilliance, clarity and focus. May you laugh richly and deeply. May you circle and celebrate and dance. And may you change and grow. And that which is waiting to be unlocked, be freed. And may you soar with the knowing that you are carried by a great wind across the sky. So this is great wind from the Ojibwa prayer. So thank you so much, Doug, for sharing all your beautiful
Thank you.
wisdom with us. And thank you all for your conscious participation in the sacred circle of love and light and beauty and harmony. Your energy is much needed on this planet at this time. And namaste. And thank you for coming. And if you'd like to stay around, Doug and I will be here and you can share about your power animal if you have a question, your experience. So love and blessings.
Thanks
And
everybody very much for being here. Have a great afternoon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And we'll be staying on if you like to share more. And
Doug, I have a question.
Yes, please.
This is Ava. I didn't see one animal, but I saw a lot of animals walk past me. And I think these were land creatures. They were not from the air, they're not from the sea. So what happens when they are all walking past me and none of them stop for me? I saw them all. I saw snakes, I saw bears, I saw deers, I saw squirrels. What does that mean?
Did you see many kinds of animals?
Yes, many different types of animals. I couldn't categorize them.
Yeah, and they sound like four-leggeds.
Yes.
So, you know, I cannot answer that for you, actually. I mean, things that come into my mind are it's important to keep moving, you know, keep moving all aspects of your life, you know, slow and steady. I don't know, it's a little bit like dream interpretation. You should, as much as you can, write that story and then just let it come through your intuitive side. You know, what one of those trying to show you. I really strongly suspect that a part of yourself in that animal medicine was trying to show you something. That sounds very deliberate and pointed. I think only you can answer, but I'm really happy and proud that you saw so many animals with that faint little weak drum beat going on. So
they were lovely.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Pay attention to, you know, to what they were doing and how, because they often, you know, one thing to tell you guys is the power animals don't often tell you things. They more often show you things. It's like dreams where the symbol and, you know, the medicine of the animal is telling you something. So, so I can't answer, but it sounds cool, and there's probably something quite worthwhile that you're learning from yourself in the animal world. Thank you for sharing.
Hiking.
Hi, Arjan.
Hi. Oh, this is fabulous. I'm just, so entrenched in every word. I'm just excited about it. May I tell you my experience?
Yes, please. If you could take 2 minutes, and we'd love to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, I had to peek up because I wasn't here. First I heard the drum and then I didn't hear the drum. I'm going, wait a minute, is something wrong? And then, but it came through really great after that. It was really good, and it was. I had my little eye pillow, and that really helped. So thanks for that hint. So I've been getting often that my power animal is the hummingbird. I don't know. I love all animals, and so they're all powerful to me in some way. And so this time while I was with your guidance, as I was back in a wonderful place in the White Mountains, and I was walking through there, and all of these animals kept coming in, and birds always come through. Birds are always, with me, and so that was normal. And then, but I brought in other animals, and it was all other animals that were coming through. But one animal stayed with me, and no matter how much I tried to say, "Okay, now move along," it stayed. And that animal was the eagle. And I never got the eagle before, and I just said, "Okay, good, thank you. Now let's other animals." Eagle, staying, pushed it away. Staying. So I don't know much about the eagle. I don't know what it's trying to tell me I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, one of the things that you're observing their behavior, and when you said you tried to shoo it away, but it wouldn't shoo away. When an animal really wants you to get its medicine, it does show up multiple times, kind of be in your face sometimes. So I'll tell you that eagle is my spirit animal, and eagle, I'm going to read you a little, just very brief poem. Eagle, fly high, touch great spirit, share your medicine, touch me, honor me, so that I may know you too. So that would just be confirmation of you, in the healing work you do, that you are able to bring in messages, and that eagle medicine wants to help you bridge the spirit world and this world. And your homework would be to really learn a lot about eagle.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they throw up bones, they break the necks of animals. I mean, it's not all, certainly not American flags and patriotism, but in that knowing of that animal, it has a phenomenal ability to see, and to see great distances and know things. And it might be times when you're doing your healing work where you're not sure, and you would, just whisper to yourself, if can you help me see or know? Sounds like it wants to do that. The other point I want to make real quickly is that power animals and allies are different. A power animal is something that's been retrieved and chosen for you, and somebody might retrieve, an eagle for you. An ally is an animal that shows up in your life to help you at that particular time. Power animals usually stay your whole life, usually have one, sometimes two. And allies show up in different ways. So I've been talking about power animals, and that's kind of the general language people use. But better to think about allies unless somebody's actually done the ceremony. So certainly eagle is an ally for you. Michael, I'd like to hear from you as well, sir.
Are you saying?
Or Richard, I'm sorry, Richard. I apologize, Richard. I thought I misremembered your name.
Couple things. I was wondering, I mean, I used to gravitate for coyote. I mean, when I was when I was younger, I actually have a coyote tattoo on my knee. But lately I've had a lot of raccoons coming around in my world. They like to dig up my garden. And that's what came. So I was just wondering, do the animals change? I mean, you said one or two just a moment ago. And, I did some looking at I've been familiar with the medicine cards and looked up the raccoon. And any thoughts or?
Well, how about your thoughts? You looked up the raccoon, and it's fabulous. This does happen where they come in the dream state or the shamanic drumming state, and they come in real life. That's significant, and I wouldn't attach too much, authority to whether it's an ally or a power animal. I wouldn't worry about that. I'm sure that coyote medicine is going to be, meaningful for you for much of your life. You did that for a reason, and that raccoon is showing up in both, sort of that drum state and this state is quite significant. What caught your attention when you read a little bit about raccoon?
Well, they're very they're community oriented. They take care of it's like they have lookouts, when they go on hunting parties and stuff like that, and they're looking for things. And I guess one of the things that kind of struck me during the drumming was that raccoons apparently have these sensors in their hands. They just they have like sonar sensors in their hands. One of the things that they eat, one of the reasons I've been digging in the garden was for grubs. I mean, and they can actually use this kind of sonar in their hands to identify when these critters are down there and dig down and get them.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
then family and working together as a family may be something to pay attention to right now. And family from a Native perspective is not just your family of origin. Family is your community from a Native perspective. So, is there something that's changing that this need for togetherness and working together would be important? And then here's a key thing of working with animal medicine. You don't say, okay, well, we need to work together more. So I need you, daughter, and you, brother, and you, wife, to do this and that. The animals are to help us as individuals take more responsibility and do more for ourselves. So when you think about family or greater community and a need for the medicine of a raccoon, which is, like you said, incredibly clever and social and capable, they really do work together in beautiful ways. They often stay together, as brother and sister, or as siblings, stay together for many, many years. So anyway, it would be a question for you then when that medicine comes to you to look at your life a little bit more in that regard. And then, as we were saying with Arjan, call it in if there's a situation that's particularly sticky, and see if you get a different idea for what to do. Is that helpful?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Anybody else want to share their experience? I'd love to hear from you, Jared, if you're willing.
Yes, sir. Hello, everybody. Good. What is it? It's Sunday. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, happy Sunday. Hey. Oh my God. I have 1% battery. I don't want my phone to die. Hang on. I'm gonna save it. Just a second.
Sure.
Hang on. Let me find the. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hang on.
As we're waiting, Robin is somebody who was with me when I got my power animal in 1990 and knows a lot about power animals. So Robin, feel free to chime in at any time. And then I'd like you to share a little bit about your long-term experience working with animal medicine, if you would, in a second when we've talked to Jared, if you're willing. Sure. We call in my community Robin Grandma.
Yeah. And I'm
hey, Grandma, love you.
Back at you.
And as Jared's going, what that community does is sweat lodges. And if any of you are in Northern California and want to go to one of our sweat lodges, we're obviously not having them during COVID. We're doing another smaller ceremony that's maybe not worth the trip. But you're welcome to come with us into our sweat lodge. We sing Lakota Dakota songs as a way of praying and essentially cleansing ourselves of our worries and seeing if we get new insights. So that's something that I'd be happy to make available to any of you who might be interested. Okay, Jared, I'm done stalling, man.
All right, all's well. So yeah, and thank you for leading us in that meditation. That was super unique. Never have experienced anything like that before. So that was altogether like, wow, that's so cool. So I at first I saw like a lot of animals in like this beautiful open field, and it was like a meadow, like with big tall mountains. And then it was pretty clear, like the animal that I was getting, I saw two. The first one that I saw was like once or twice. It was the black bear, and then the second one that kept coming to me a couple different times was the wolf. So I was like, oh my god, it's a wolf. Like, I kind of got the chills on the inside. I was like, oh god, he's like really intimidating. I'm like, woo. So
that's a really neat combination. So the bear is introspection. So can you imagine not eating for 5 months or even longer, being curled up, with no food, no water, or barely any water, and hibernating? So the bear, and you look at a bear, and how a bear carries itself, it carries itself inward out. It's not all over the place. It is who it is. So the bear would want to help you with introspection, with, asking those harder questions and looking inside. And then what's so cool is that it's paired up with trailblazer. The wolf is a trailblazer or a pathfinder. It's a forerunner of new ideas, and it returns with those new ideas to where it's been, and it teaches and shares. That's a super cool combination. There also, my community works with 4 directions, and those are both very significant animals in the 4 directions. And I'm not going to recall, I don't know if you do, Robin, which direction bear sits in. Do you remember?
Well, it's a 4-legged, and I think that's the north, isn't it?
Yeah, all the 4-leggeds are the north. I don't remember, but that's really neat. So, we think about bears as being, omnivores and tough. I mean, they're very adaptable too. Both species are, but particularly bears. So you had some really good, strong medicine come through. I really encourage you to go look at those medicine cards and read them and pull off a couple sayings and keep them, because that's a great combination from, the little we've talked, for you in your life right now. So it's interesting that, you guys stayed on. Some people don't see very much, and that was a really poor setup to experience, animals. And if they came through, I would guess you have some proclivity for this, and an interest in it. So maybe it's something that you could pursue otherwise.
may I
So,
also ask you a clarification?
sure.
So you said, Doug, the bear carries itself from the inside out, so it represents introspection, you said?
Well, yeah. So bears I mean, when you think of introspection is going in and really processing and turning things over and making sense of things on the inside.
Uh-huh.
And you think about an animal that hibernates. Imagine being in a dream state for months and really starving yourself. And so they live for a period of time. I mean, the way I think about it is, bears have hibernated. They've done what our bodies want to do in wintertime, which is to really go in and slow down and till the soil and plant seeds and have a period of not knowing, and then come out and be different. They do that as a survival thing. They live in tough climates, and they're very adaptable, but I think about bears coming out of hibernation as a way of understanding, being in the introspective state and then bringing things into fruition. And I loved that you paired it with the wolf, or spirit paired it with the wolf for you, which is the pathfinder, the bringing new ideas, and teaching new ideas. So it would be cool to work with both of those. Anybody else? I want to hear a little bit from Robin and have Robin say a little bit about her animal and what it's done for her. Anybody else want to jump in? Arjan?
Oh, well, Robin
Oh,
was.
no, I'm good. Thank you.
Robin?
I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, Doug, you have surpassed me. I mean, I'm learning stuff just signing on for the last hour. My spirit animal is the seagull, which is traditionally not a Native American bird, or a power animal, but that's what I have. And what I like about it is that it's a creature of the land, the sky, and the water. And those are 3 things that I find I'm more attuned to. especially the water. And I know the seagull tends to be kind of a pest, like the raccoon. Most people perceive it as that, but I don't think of it as that. In fact, I travel from Oakland to Marin across the Richmond Bridge a lot, or I used to, and I would always see the seagull. Always, always, always. So I knew that that spirit guide was with me. I'm afraid I haven't studied too much about the seagull, other than it likes those three mediums, you know, the land, sea, and air. And I found out that a lot of times they go to, oh, what's that place with all the
They
salt?
go to the trash dumps.
Huh?
They go to the dumps.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's where you can see the most. Us
No,
bird watchers actually go to the dumps to see the rare seagulls, but anyway.
oh, yeah. Yeah. No, this is on the eastern slope of the Sierras where they go to mate, I guess.
Oh yeah, Pyramid Lake. What is it? No, the one with the
salt things. It's
Mono Lake.
Mono Lake.
Yeah, thank you. And I found out that the young seagulls are brown. They're not white, and they can be large like a seagull. But I have had the seagull for good 20 years. And on a vision quest, I had a bear show up, and lately I've been using the bear as someone to help me on my journeys. And you haven't gone into the journey work right now, but that would probably be your next step. But very, very fruitful. I'm just amazed at what shows up, at what my spirit animal will show me. It's like, now where did that come from? I never would have thought about that, as an answer to a question when you go on a journey. It's, there's just, and most of when I do a journey work, I'll get it in not a visual form, but a word, it'll be like someone speaking to me. And and I think what's important is that what Doug mentioned was to always thank your animal. I wrote that down actually, so I really don't forget that. It's that gratitude, that is just in our lives. There's just so much of it. So there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember right now. Anything else, Doug?
So I hope this has enriched your lives a little bit, to know that the animals are more than just out there looking for food and living their lives, but they're interwoven into our psyches, and that their own medicine and spirits has a lot to teach us. I think we get caught up as people as thinking that we're superior to animals. And the native way is to be really open to every life form, even the rocks and trees, being teachers. And so keep in mind, when you see animals, as to end, as Robin said, just be grateful that they're there. The lots of birds you see, just be grateful that they're there. And you'll too start hearing more of their messages, and they'll find ways to help you too. From the native point of view, that's all it takes, is just being aware and being grateful. So that was a good place to end, Robin. So thank you all very much. Any other burning questions? Arjan?
I don't have a question. I just wanted to make a comment about the seagulls, because Robin was saying it's been her power animal. I just want to say that in my experience in real life, that seagulls are incredibly brilliant. They think a lot.
No, they do, Robin. They use tools. I see them frequently.
They know what they're doing, and they have a plan, and they execute it perfectly.
Oh gosh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen when we would come back, from fishing, and we thought, we were cleaning the fish, and we thought we had it handled. Many times the seagulls had it handled a lot better than we did. So, yeah.
They're resourceful for sure.
Oh, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, can I ask also before you break off? When I started out, Kiko is a boxer, and Kiko is very wounded, and I'm hoping everybody could. Kiko's, not sure if he's gonna stay or go in this world right now. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
Yeah, so Richard, what I did send my eagle to check on Kiko, and the sense that I got was that if Kiko isn't able to be with us, which I certainly hope he can, that he'll be watched over in a transition. I'm not saying what's going to happen. I'm just saying that my eagle basically found Kiko and was like, I got this, So I did send my eagle out to check on Kiko, and I got back that, whatever happens, Kiko's going to be okay. I didn't hesitated to tell you that, but I just wanted you to know that.
Yeah, I've a couple of days ago, I thought he was going to be okay, or be with us, and a couple of days ago I heard something that was like, he's. Anyway, I'm just hoping, because the family around him, he's probably the most unifying thing in the house. So, hoping that they can keep that. They need it.
Yeah, I do too. I hope we can keep that too. I really am proud of you and appreciate you sharing what's going on with Kiko and asking for help.
Yeah, and Rick, I share, I've been sharing Reiki with Kiko, and I'll continue to do that. If anybody else has any Reiki, requests, I could do some Reiki on someone who's sick or, dying or wherever they are, grieving. So thank you so much,
everyone.
Doug, and that was so enlightening and so wonderful. And thank you all for sharing your experiences and asking your questions. This has been a wonderful afternoon. Thank you, and blessings to everybody here.
Yes.
Hugs and kisses.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing up with your feelings. I really appreciate it. Just a big warm hug to you right now, man.
Yeah. Hugs to you all. Bye.
Yeah.